Frankfurt Hahn Airport is an international airport located 10 kilometers from the town of Kirchberg and 20 kilometers from the town of Simmern in the Rhein-Hunsrück district of Rhineland-Palatinate to the west of central Germany. Despite the name, the airport is about equidistant between Frankfurt and Luxembourg, about 120 kilometers to each city by road. It is closer to the German cities of Koblenz at about 70 kilometers and Mainz at about 90 kilometers. The airport officially changed the name from Hahn to Frankfurt Hahn at the same time as Ryanair started flying there. In 2002, Lufthansa took out legal proceedings against Ryanair, claiming the usage of Frankfurt in the airport's name to be deceptive advertising. However, Lufthansa lost in a similar case regarding another airport name. Ryanair lost. Until 2009, the airport was owned by Fraport, which also operates Frankfurt Airport. History. Military past. During the Cold War, Hahn Air Base was a frontline air base, and home of the United States Air Force 50th Fighter Wing for most of those years as part of the United States Air Forces in Europe. It was one of several USAF bases in Germany, all within 100 kilometers of each other, beyond the location in the heart of U.S. troop concentrations. These air bases were well situated to reach all locations within Europe and the Mediterranean region. At the end of the Cold War, Hahn Air Base had more than 13,000 people and 3 squadrons of F-16 tactical fighters. When the Cold War threat of an invasion of West Germany subsided, the United States was left with a huge excess capacity of expensive airfields in Europe. As a result, the 50th TFW was inactivated in 1991 after 35 years at Hahn. The 496th TFS was inactivated on the 15th of May, the 313th TFS on the 1st of July, and the 10th TFS on the 30th of September. The 50th Tactical Fighter Wing was inactivated on the 30th of September 1991. On the 30th of January 1992, the 50th was activated as the 50th Space Wing at Falcon AFB, Colorado. On the 30th of September 1993, most of Hahn Air Base was returned to civil German authorities, but USAF retained a small portion as a radio communications site until its final return to German authorities in 2012. It is still frequently used for military charters, these flights being operated by, amongst others, Delta Airlines and United Airlines. The German government decided to turn the former NATO airfield into a civil airport. One of the main investors in the development of the new Frankfurt Hahn Airport was Fraport AG, which primarily runs Frankfurt International Airport, the aim being to reduce the amount of traffic using that airport. The Faculty and Police Training School of the Rhineland-Palatinate State Police were combined at a new joint facility located at the air base's former housing area in 1996. Development into a low-cost airport. The German government decided to turn the former airfield into a civil airport. One of the main investors in the development of the new Frankfurt Hahn Airport was Fraport, which primarily runs Frankfurt Airport, the aim being to reduce the amount of traffic using that airport. However, in 2009, Fraport sold its 65% Frankfurt Hahn shares for €1, including debt of €120 million to the federal state Rhineland-Palatinate. Hahn charges its airline operators less than Frankfurt Airport, which has made the airport popular with low-cost carriers, especially Ryanair, which uses the airport as a major base. The world record for heaviest single piece of air cargo, a 189.98 metric ton generator for a gas power plant in Armenia, was loaded onto a cargo flight departing from Hahn in 2009 using the Antonov 225. In 2013, Etihad Cargo announced the relocation of the cargo operations from Hahn to Frankfurt Airport, which caused a downturn for the airport as Etihad was one of the most important customers. Additionally, Ryanair cancelled and reduced capacity on several routes for summer 2014 as 3 of 9 aircraft based at the airport were removed. In January 2014, the airport announced it had accumulated debts of €125 million while passenger and cargo traffic were decreasing. The figures mean the airport could be closed within the next 10 years. As of March 2015, the owners, the German states of Rhineland-Palatinate and Hesse, have sought to sell the indebted airport. In March 2015, Yangtze River Express announced they would to cease the cargo operations at Frankfurt Hahn Airport in favor of Munich Airport. Frankfurt Hahn lost its largest freight customer and 4 cargo destinations. Months earlier, Qatar Airways and Aeroflot had also ceased their cargo operations at the airport. By July 2015, the airport's freight numbers dropped by 36%. CN, in response to rumors that Amazon.com intends to buy the airport. A spokesperson for the airport revealed in April 2016 that 3 bids were made on the airport, all 3 of them coming from China. In June 2016, China's Shanghai Yiqian Trading Company acquired a majority stake in Frankfurt Hahn Airport, a local German government statement has confirmed. The transaction, whose value was estimated in the low double-digit million euro range, involved the sale of the German state of Rhineland-Palatinate's 82.5% shareholding in the airport. A few weeks later, it has been announced that the sale to Yiqian might be cancelled as the company failed to provide the first part of the deferred payment for the airport, and general doubts regarding the credibility rose. Finally, the agreement with the Chinese investor fell through, which led to severe political trouble and an official inquiry against the responsible politicians. The airport has been put up for sale again in mid-July 2016. Later in June 2016, the cargo subsidiary of Air France-KLM announced to shut down its cargo reloading point at the airport due to internal restructuring measures. Air France-KLM cargo used facilities at the airport to collect freight and transfer it to Paris, both by trucks. In August 2016, Rafavia from Latvia announced to base 2 aircraft at the airport to operate ad hoc charter flights. Infrastructure. Terminals. The airport consists of 1 passenger and 1 cargo terminal. The passenger terminal is equipped with some shops and restaurants, for example a branch of McDonald's. The apron features 11 stands for mid-sized aircraft such as the Boeing 737, which are reached on foot. The cargo apron has 3 stands for large aircraft such as the Boeing 747-8F. Runway. Frankfurt Hahn has a long runway of 3,800 meters in the direction of 0321. This, combined with a large apron, allows it to handle some of the world's biggest aircraft such as the Antonov and 124 or the Boeing 747 large cargo freighter, both types being frequent visitors. It has an instrument landing system available to both sides, with runway 21 being Category 3 approved. Low visibility conditions are a frequent problem at the airport, especially during autumn and winter. Airlines and destinations. Passenger cargo statistics. Ground transportation. Frankfurt Hahn Airport is almost equidistant from Frankfurt and Luxembourg. Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof is 123 kilometers from the airport and Gare Centrale Luxembourg is 118 kilometers from the airport. Coach. Hahn is served by a number of coach operators that run regular services to Frankfurt am Main, Cologne, Luxembourg and a number of other cities in western Germany and the region. Rail. The airport has no railway station. The nearest train station is in Treben-Trebach, the terminus of the public Treben-Trebach Railway. The nearest long-distance railway stations are Bulle and Idar-Oberstein, Köln and Bad Sobenheim, all on the Mainz-Bad Kreuznach-Saarbrücken line. Frequent buses also run to the main railway station of nearby cities, the closest being Mainz and Koblenz. There have been, however, plans to reactivate a rail line to the airport that was formerly used by the U.S. military for the former airbase. Hahn has reasonable road connections. The nearest autobahn connections are approximately 40 kilometers to the west or east. Parking and car rental are available at the airport. Other facilities. The head office of Air.It Services AG, a subsidiary of Fraport, is in Building 663 at Hahn Airport.